This 2013 Trek Mamba is my first modern mountain bike. I bought it brand new for around $900. I was under a budget and this bike had all the basics to get me on the trail. This bike was a mid-level 29er hardtail in the Gary Fisher Edition line. Over the years I upgraded many parts including the drivetrain, brakes, and wheels. However, the bike has always felt on the heavy side, especially for a hardtail. So what can we do to lighten her up? One of the cheapest ways to lighten a mountain bike is to go tubeless. In this video, we'll see how much weight we save by removing the tubes and rim strips. This video is the first in a series of performing some weight-saving upgrades on my bikes as well as myself. Since one of the rims on my hardtail was cracked, I went ahead and ordered a new wheel set. Any upgrades I do to the hardtail for this series should be budget friendly, just like when the bike was new. I found a WTB SX19 wheel set with Novatec hubs for $140 that comes with a set of Maxxis Crossmark tires. Since I already had a pair of Maxxis high rollers, the crossmarks won't be needed, but I'll use them for the initial weigh-in. As you can see, the bike weighs in at 31.2 pounds. There are a lot of videos out there to teach you how to convert your wheels to tubeless, so I'll just cover the basic steps. First, install the tubeless rim tape. I like to start a few inches before the valve, including at least one of the spoke holes. Before cutting the tape, be sure to overlap the valve. Second, poke a hole in the rim tape above the valve with a knife or scissors and install the valve stem with the locking nut. Next, install the tire. I like to line up the tire logo with the valve stem to make it easier to find it later when adding air. Now we need to add the sealant. Most people will not fully install the tire so they can pour the sealant directly into the tire. However, I tend to be messy, so I prefer to remove the valve stem tip and use the rubber hose to pour in the sealant. Install the valve tip and then add air. It is easier to use a compressor, but this can be done with a floor pump. Once you hear the pop, the tire should be properly set. Make sure to spin the wheels to spread the sealant. Okay, now let's weigh in the bike to see how much we save. What? 31.8? Why did it go up? Well, I made the mistake of using wider and more aggressive tires, which weigh more than the cheap tires and tubes that came with the wheels. If I went with a narrow cross-country tire, I would have saved at least a full pound, but I prefer the 2.3 tires and extra rubber for my trail style of riding. I went ahead and weighed the tubes and they came out close to a pound. So what else can we do to lighten the load? The flat pedals are big and clunky, so we'll switch them out with these clipless Shimano Dior pedals. I'll also remove the extra commuter stuff like the mounts for the pump and light. Okay, now let's see if we're lower. I took the bike out to Brown's Ranch, a good flowy trail without the need for a full squishy suspension. No issues with the new rims, but I'll probably need to take it into my local shop to get trued after a few more rides. Going tubeless allows you to run at lower pressure, which does wonders on traction on rocks and cornering. I don't need to worry about pinch flats, but be aware that the tires may still burp. I have ridden many years tubeless on the full suspension and never gotten a flat, knock on wood. Even the upgrades, the bike still feels a little sluggish. The front suspension uses a coil and it's not adjustable. At my current weight, I should probably put in heavier springs, but it just isn't worth it. I think I'll replace this with an air fork and increase the travel by 20 millimeters. I also don't like being locked in the pedals. This is fine for riding to work on pavement, but I'm just not naturally comfortable unless I'm using flats. Maybe I can find some flat pedals that weigh less than these clipless Shimanos. Finally, my last complaint is this 3x9 drivetrain. I don't like having to think too much when approaching a technical upper or passing through an arroyo. Changing this to a 1x will make things less complex as well as remove extra weight from the bike. Thanks for watching. For my next weight loss series video, I'll be converting this bike to a 1x9 and changing out the pedals.